Khamzat Chimaev wants to fight Alex Pereira. Who do you think will win, Chimaev or Pereira?
That is interesting. We haven't seen Pereira in there with an elite level wrestler, and many people tried to present Ankalaev that way. Don't forget, a lot of Chimaev's undefeated UFC record took place at 170 pounds.
I think Pereira, man, he will knock your face off.
Pereira didn't just avoid Khamzat, he ran so far from that matchup that the MMA world is still arguing about what terrified him the most. And oh, trust me, you're about to find out exactly why this whole thing blew up like a grenade in the UFC office.
Everyone knows this guy is not my level. That's why he's running away. Why he accept a fight against Depreci? Why he not accept a fight against me? Got destroyed the guy 5 rounds, but he's saying like, I'm not famous.
Khamzat Chimaev stunned the MMA world the moment he claimed Alex Pereira was avoiding him, insisting the Brazilian champion wanted nothing to do with a potential collision, and the way he said it sounded like a man who'd already seen the ending to this movie.
For the bout to happen.
Well, Depreci fans and he's good striker, one of the best strikers. Fight for me. Everyone knows that. UFC knows that, but UFC don't want to give this guy from me. I don't think so. He want that fight. It's gonna be not respect for Alex. He accept the fight. They're gonna pay good for Alex. You know, like one more fight. And I will up next for his
This whole standoff only grew when Chimaev shifted gears.
From Chimaev's perspective, his entire mission in the UFC has always been stupidly simple: smash anyone, anywhere, any damn time. And he never hid that. He walked into the UFC like he was walking into a buffet, and everyone on the roster was on the menu. And after grabbing the middleweight championship, he expected the biggest names to step right in front of him. But Pereira, man, Pereira stepped out of the frame so fast it looked like a glitch.
Who call out dangerous opponents.
Speaking of call-outs, Khamzat's also been calling you out as well.
He's another one. There's a lot of options to look at. He's probably the last option. And it's the same thing. He's talking to, make some noise.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Pereira appeared more intrigued by the possibility.
In Khamzat's mind, that matchup made perfect sense. Middleweight, light heavyweight, hell, put them on the moon. But what he did not expect was for Pereira to ghost the idea entirely. He said the newly crowned champ dismissed the matchup because he was the bigger star, and that hit Khamzat like a slap with a wet mop. Fame deciding fights? Bro, what are we even doing here?
John Jones versus Alex Pereira for the BMF at heavyweight. Yes, I said it. It makes sense. It makes perfect sense. You want to have an American headline in White House. You want to do it with the greatest of all time. John's not going to fight Tom Aspinall. That's fine. Alex Pereira's been calling this fight. He's a bigger name than Tom Aspinall. And what he was able to do to Magomed Ankalaev, I remember talking to John, and John was like, dude, I just want super fights. Maybe you can have Tom as a co-main against somebody, against Francis Ngannou. Francis is about to become a free agent.
I like where your head's at today, Henry. Every star you have are saying, yes, I want to fight. I haven't said it yet, Dana, but you want to call me, yeah, I'm down too.
The UFC's probably going to go the route of Pereira and Jones, and I'm not mad at that either.
He couldn't understand how the UFC's biggest monsters push for challenges except this one, and Khamzat was clearly pissed, insisting that the fans wanted it, the fighters wanted it, the promo machine wanted it, and that should have been enough to make the fight happen. But the silence from Pereira only made the drama nastier.
I don't know if you're aware of this yet, but middleweight champion Khamzat Chimaev has called you out and said that congratulations, but now you guys need to finish your business. Are you aware of what business that is, and are you interested in him moving up to fight you at this stage?
O campeão peso médio te desafiou, Khamzat Chimaev, falou parabéns, mas vocês têm negócio a resolver. Que negócios são esses e te interessa?
Obrigado pelos parabéns, mas eu quero uma super luta, igual eu falei, quero lutar nos pesos pesados. Então, Só agradeço só pelos parabéns.
Thanks for congratulating me, but all I want is a super fight. I want to fight at heavyweight, but all I can say is thank you.
Then Chimaev shocked everyone again when he didn't just talk about middleweight. Nope, he started flirting with moving up. After dismantling DDP and taking the title at UFC 319, he immediately dropped Pereira's name like a bomb, not even giving the belt time to warm up around his waist. While most champs settle into the throne, Khamzat looked at the throne, shrugged, and started climbing another staircase.
Achieved that milestone.
Important thing, they pay good. They're gonna pay good for Alex, you know. That's why I'm pushing for that. But in my weight class, whoever. There is Imamo, there is Strickland, there is Hernandez, whoever. But I wanna, for sure, one more fight and I will go up next weight class.
He talked openly about testing himself in higher weight classes, fully convinced his wrestling would fold Pereira's striking like laundry, no matter what the scale said. And that idea sent the MMA world into a frenzy, because fans loathe a champion who wants to risk everything on a bigger shark.
Or career legacy.
With Imavov, because it does seem like the top one right now, you have trained with him, right?
We didn't train MMA, we just wrestled something. I was there, I just tried to help him. He's a good guy, I know him, like he knows me. If you ask me, I don't want to fight this guy because he's like, we know each other. Like a Muslim, he's from Dagestan. You know how it's Dagestan, Chechen people will be like a lot of drama, I don't like about it. But if you see once, he's never gonna say no.
Meanwhile, Pereira kept looking at heavyweight and ignoring the Khamzat smoke, but that only made Khamzat crank the volume up. He said he'd go to heavyweight too if that's what it took to drag Pereira into a cage, talking like a man who truly believed that everyone watching already knew how this matchup ends. His confidence was so nuclear it felt like he'd already taken Pereira down in his dreams 10 times a night.
Three of the UFC's most dominant athletes.
Chechnya, they had John Jones over there.
John Jones is a legend. Chechnya was waiting for that. People are posting this wrestling. It wasn't real wrestling. I'm always respectful to my guests. It wasn't me who is trying to take him down. He started first, and then when then it slowly becomes to the wrestling. Someone starts to wrestle with me, my body's going for takedowns. It wasn't my choice. I hope so one day I can train with.
As both men traded remarks, the rivalry just kept heating up. Khamzat threw shots at Pereira, at Glover, at the whole damn idea that the UFC didn't want the fight. And suddenly this wasn't business anymore, it was personal. Like asterisk, really asterisk personal. And inside all of that chaos, Khamzat revealed a clearer vision. One more middleweight fight, then up to light heavyweight, chasing the 2-belt legacy he believes is already written for him.
Khamzat has called out Pereira. What do you make of that?
I mean, he's always had crazy call-out. There's no way he beats Pereira, in my opinion. I think Pereira right now is one of the greatest to ever do this sport. He's a big guy. Even now at light heavyweight, he looked so big against Ankalaev. It was crazy. So, yeah, I think that's all.
He pointed straight to guys like Topuria and Makhachev, champions taking over multiple divisions, and said he wanted the same destiny, with Pereira as the ideal stepping stone. But even as he plotted his climb, the UFC seemed cautious, clearly preferring he defend the middleweight belt first, especially with contenders lining up like a Black Friday sale.
Well, when you mentioned that Khamzat would be good at 205 this past weekend, Alex Pereira, he just won back his title from Magomed Ankalaev, and then Khamzat called out Pereira. Would you like to see that fight happen?
For Pereira, no, I'd like to see him go fight a big fight like the John Jones fight or something. I feel like he's 38. He's maybe considering retiring. I don't want him to get mauled by Khamzat. I'm just being honest. I really don't. I want to see Pereira like ride off into the sunset with a big fight, big paycheck, and that's how I'd like to see Pereira finish his career.
So does that mean you would favor Khamzat in that fight against Pereira?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, the way Khamzat wrestles is very different than the way Ankalaev wrestles. Ankalaev seems to be more of almost like a Greco style, more body locks. He doesn't really go, he doesn't commit so much. Khamzat completely commits. Khamzat completely commits, completely turns the corner. He's able to get on your back. He's able to do so much more. Ankalaev doesn't have that kind of wrestling. Don't get me wrong, Ankalaev is a good wrestler, but not like Khamzat.
Brendan Allen later added his own thoughts.
Still, the idea of Khamzat versus Pereira refused to die. Their styles, their energy, their weight-hopping ambitions, it all forms a perfect storm the fans cannot stop arguing about. And Khamzat's claim that Pereira is running from him? Yeah, that one caught fire and hasn't burned out since. Because now the real question everyone's asking is simple. If Pereira truly wasn't afraid, why hasn't he stepped forward once? Why does the smoke keep drifting one direction? And what happens when they finally stand across from each other and someone's myth gets smashed in half?
What do you think of Khamzat calling out Alex Pereira and wanting to move up to 205 before he even has a title defense?
I think that's kind of like the story of Chimaev, right? Like, he just talks a lot. He gets a lot of eyes. Like, it's not to the degree, but it's like Conor talking just to stay relative. Obviously, like, Chimaev's not that bad, right? He doesn't say that much stuff and that much reckless stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I think he's got a lot of work to do in our division first, and it's not like he's a huge 85er that's cutting a lot like Alex was to get to 85, to where it's like, all right, I became a champion, I defended once, like, let's just go up or whatever. So